Hello, I'm George Harder, the founder of the MTH Theater at Crown Center, or as we're known on our 501c3 corporate documents, Musical Theater Heritage. I'll be coming in here from time to time throughout this evening to tell you how MTH got from there to here, how it began in 1998 as a syndicated radio show, and just 22 short years later, becoming one of the leading theatrical producing companies in Kansas City. It's practically an overnight success. But first, let me introduce to you the president of the Board of Directors of Musical Theater Heritage, Mr. George Norton.
Good evening and welcome. On behalf of Musical Theater Heritage, its staff, and our Board of Directors, I would like to welcome you to our 2020 virtual fundraiser and online auction. We've got a great show for you this evening. I'm George Norton, and as Board President, I want to thank you for taking the time to join us this evening and for your continued support for Musical Theater Heritage. Because of COVID-19, this has been a challenging year for us. We've not been able to put on the performances that we would have liked with a live audience in our stage. And we're not sure quite yet exactly when we're going to be able to do that again. But I can assure you that when we do, we're going to follow competent medical authorities' guidance so that you, our patrons, are safe, as well as our actors and our employees. In any case, we want you to enjoy the performances this evening, spend some time looking at the items in our auction, and have fun. Thank you very much for joining us, and have a good time.
Hello, 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 good evening and welcome. My name is Tim Scott. I'm the Executive Artistic Director at Musical Theater Heritage, and let me be the third person to welcome you here to our Grand Night virtual gala this evening. It's my honor, my privilege to serve as a kind of co-host with George Harder. George and I want to be as socially distant as possible, so he's in the theater and I am actually outside on the roof of Crown Center overlooking our fair city, so we're feeling pretty safe. For those of you who don't know, I've been involved with MTH since 2005, and I wanted to take this opportunity to thank you for your support and for continuing to allow us to live out our mission even during these weird, wild times. Musical theater, of course, as most of you know, has been a part of the American theater for a very, very long time. However, in 1918, when the Pulitzer Prize for Drama was first introduced, only 10 musicals since that time have been awarded the honor. Most recently, earlier this year, in 2020, A Strange Loop by Michael R. Jackson took home the prize. A Strange Loop is a metafictional story that tracks the creative process of an artist. 35 years ago, in 1985, Stephen Sondheim won the Pulitzer Prize for his story that tracked the creative process of an artist. That story was called Sunday in the Park with George. Now, some of you might remember MTH's 2013 production of Sunday. It was the last time I appeared in a show here at MTH, and it was alongside my very good friend, Katie Carl. So, it is my great honor and privilege to introduce to you our very first performance of the evening, alongside and accompanied by the amazing Anthony Edwards, who will be with us all night tonight on the piano. This is the title song from Sunday in the Park with George, sung by my dear friend, Katie Carl.
George, why is it you always get to sit in the shade while I have to stand in the sun? George. Hello, George. There is someone in this dress. A trickle of sweat. The back of the head. He always does this. Now the foot is dead. Sunday in the park with George. One more. The collar is damp, beginning to pinch. The bustle slipping. I won't budge 1 inch. Who is at the zoo, George? Who is at the zoo? The monkeys and who, George? The monkeys and who? Artists are bizarre, fixed, cold. That's you, George, you're bizarre. being painted by your lover in the middle of the summer on an island in the river on a Sunday. The petticoat's wet, which adds to the weight. The sun is blinding. All right, concentrate. Sunday in the park with George. Sunday in the park with George. Well, if you want bread and respect and attention, not to say connection, modeling's no profession. Hey, if you want instead, when you're dead, some more public and more permanent expression of affection, you want a painter, poet, sculptor, preferably marble, granite, bronze, durable, something nice with swans that's durable forever. All it has to be is good, and George, you're good, you're really good. George's stroke is tender, George's touch is pure. Your eyes, George, I love your eyes, George. I love your beard, George. I love your size, George. But most, George, of all. But most of all, I love your painting. I think I'm painting. The tip of the stay, right under the tit. No, don't give in, just lift the arm a bit. Sunday in the park with George. Not even a nod, as if I were trees. The ground could open, he would still say please. Never know with you, George. Who could know with you? The others I knew, George. Before we get through, I'll get to you too. God, I am so hot. Well, there are worse things than staring at the water on a Sunday. There are worse things than staring at the water while you're posing for a picture after sleeping on the ferry, after getting up at 7 to come over to an island in the middle of the river half an hour from the city on a Sunday. On a Sunday in the park with
Hi, I'm Mandy Morris. I'm a performer here at MTH, as well as a director and choreographer for Forever Plaid. It's been such a great experience. I always feel like this theater is so professional, and getting to direct and choreograph Forever Plaid was one of the highlights of my career. So when I got asked to direct and choreograph Forever Plaid, I was really nervous, but very excited. I was going through a mix of emotions. It really pushed me to be a whole different level of an artist, and It was amazing. I felt like I had everybody on my team was so supportive, and they always made sure I was well taken care of. They helped me bring my vision to life, and it was surreal. I just had the best experience.
Hi, I'm Francisco Villegas, and I just wanted to take a brief moment to talk to you about the impact that musical theater and performance has had on my life, and all because of musical theater heritage. You know, being born here in Kansas City, I don't think I would be the person that I am or the performer that I am if it wasn't for the opportunities that were given to me here, and musical theater heritage is the main reason for that. One thing I'll never be able to forget is the moment when I realized that I was going to be able to be in two of my dream roles, you know, not too far away from each other. But the opportunities that this theater has afforded me have changed my life and really affirmed that Kansas City is the place where I need to be and where I'm supposed to be. Those two roles that I talked about, the first one was Carmen Gia from the producers. You know, such a great experience with a great group of people. And to be able to spread that joy with that character in particular, it was a dream. And then to follow it up with Usnavi and In the Heights. I can specifically remember in 2008 listening to the soundtrack for the first time and just telling myself, one day. Well, that day happened, and it was the most unforgettable and most precious moment that I've ever had on stage, and I got to do that for so many performances. And I thank MTH, and I thank you for your support and for always staying true to the arts here in Kansas City. Thank you.
So how did I start musical theater heritage? Well, what happened was that in 1980, I had a 3-hour board op job at the old classical station KXTR 96.5. Some of you remember that, I'm sure, of a certain age. And I started playing show tunes and film music on Saturday nights after the big band hour and the Boston Pops. People seemed to enjoy it, so I named it. I named that 3-hour slot of Broadway show music and film music A Night on the Town. That went along fine for about 17 years. And then one night, one Sunday morning at church, a man came up to me and he said, "Are you George Harder? Don't you do that A Night on the Town on Saturday nights on KXDR?" "Yes, that's me." And he said, "I've been listening to that for years, but I always thought that it was a syndicated show out of New York." So then I thought, well, why not? And I thought, well, people hold out rock and roll as an American art form, and jazz certainly, but nobody's holding out the musical theater as a uniquely American theatrical art form. So I took that on as a mission. So I developed a 1-hour version of my 3-hour radio show that focused just on the history of the American musical. And I submitted it to the Concert Music Network in New York and also to the WFMT Fine Arts Network in Chicago. And they both picked it up and accepted it for distribution. Our first uplink of the A Night on the Town radio series in national syndication was in September of 1998, and it went out to 130 stations.
Oh, that is amazing, George. I mean, we're so thankful to have your leadership and your vision as the foundation for musical theater heritage. Right now, I want to take this opportunity to recognize and thank some of our diamond and platinum level sponsors this evening. I'd like to thank CBD American Shaman, Theater League with Mark Edelman, Kathy Allen, Jack and Karen Holland, Bob Lloyd, and Carl and Lee McCaffrey. Thank you so much for your support tonight and, of course, throughout the years. Also should remind you about our online auction at this point. Many of you may already know about it. If you don't, you can text BID NOW to the number on your screen, and we'll hit you back with a link that shows our auction items. If you have any trouble this evening also with the auction, or donating online, you'd rather talk to a human being, I get it. Remember when that used to happen? You can call 816-221-6987. Also put that number on the screen for you. And we have an actual live human being standing by until 10 p.m. tonight. If you'd rather talk to somebody on the phone about donation, auction, you want to hear somebody tell you that everything's going to be all right, you're going to be okay, we can do that for you as well. Just call that number. Let's do a couple more songs. These next two songs are taken from musicals that are adapted by films of the same name. Up in a second, my friend Taylor Vazpor will come up and do a tune from The Band's Visit. The Band's Visit 2018, 10 Tony Awards, including Best Musical, music and lyrics by David Yazabek. It's adapted from the 2007 Israeli film of the same name. I can't wait for you to hear Taylor's absolutely soaring voice on Answer Me from The Band's Visit. But first, super excited to have my friend Stephanie Wilkerson with us this evening from afar. You will remember Stephanie from her astonishing performance as Fanny Bryce in our 2019 production of Funny Girl. Stephanie is going to do a tune from Waitress. Waitress on Broadway originally in 2016, music and lyrics by Sarah Bareilles, adapted from a 2007 movie of the same name. So here she is, all the way from her home in Sheridan, Wyoming. This is Stephanie Wilkerson accompanying herself on She Used to Be Mine from Waitress.
It's not simple to say. Most days I don't recognize me with these shoes and this apron. That place and its patrons have taken more than I gave them. It's not easy to know I'm not anything like I used to be, although it's true I was never attention sweet center. I still remember that girl. She's imperfect, but she tries. She is good, but she lies. She is hard on herself. She is broken, but won't ask for help. She is messy, but she's kind. She is lonely most of the time. She's all of this mixed up and baked in a beautiful pie. She is gone, used to be mine. It's not what I asked for. Sometimes life just slips in through a back door and carves out a person and makes you believe it's all true. Now I've got you. You're not what I asked for. If I'm honest, I know I would give it all back for a chance to start over and rewrite an empty note or two. beautiful pie. She is gone, but she used to be mine.
Hi, everyone. I'm Seth Golay. No, wait. Let's do that again. Hi. Hi. Hello. Hi. In 3, 2, 1. No, wait. It doesn't go like that. In 3, 2. Hi. I'm Seth Golay. My name is Seth Golay. I've been an actor and variety artist in the Kansas City area for the last 20 years, and I've been fortunate enough that MTH has let me direct and act and be nosy and contribute in ways that, and they do this with everyone. They embrace talent, and talented people want to be around them. You know, as an actor, you contribute, and as a director, it's fantastic to get to work with the caliber of talent, especially that MTH brings in. And they're way beyond me. I've learned so much, and to sit on the other side of the table after having been on stage, it's such a good eye-opening experience. I'm getting to learn more from the in-the-field opportunities that Tim keeps giving me. That Musical Theater Heritage keeps giving us as a city. But I do have to say that the audiences and the support behind the organization is amazing. And to perform for the audiences, for MTH audiences, is always welcoming, always warm. They always want to see you succeed, and because of that support, they lift you up, and you do.
Hi, I'm Jesselyn Kincaid. I am the Virtual Education Coordinator here at MTH. The Virtual Education Program came out of necessity. And so what we did was we took everything that we had planned and we sort of scrapped it all and reconfigured it so that they were actually designed for a virtual format. And what that means is, of course, that we can now incorporate multimedia stuff. We can incorporate special guests. So there were some really great opportunities mixed into the virtual format that we would not have been able to tap into in person. So, of course, arts education in the school system is already something that in many situations is not ideal. So much of education is up in the air. Some schools are still online, some are doing hybrid learning. We have really seen that the arts are the first ones to get slashed. And so what we found is that our program and what we are providing from MTH has become even more crucial. We are providing kids not only a place to learn music and to cultivate those creative relationships with others, but we're also giving them the opportunity to stretch creatively and to be able to nurture that creative center that they have within them, that everybody has within them, that's just not being tapped in the education system, especially now when things are so upside down, topsy-turvy in the air.
Theater for me is family. A lot of people don't recognize it, but when you come into theater, you're nervous, you're scared, but soon as you get to know the people around you start to open up and start to see who you really are. And that's what I really got from the camps at MTH. I've got the family aspect with everyone I've met over the camps, like my Broadway Bound camp over to my Darren Hansen camp. I've met so many other people, got exchanged with their Instagrams and little social media accounts, and we've been like family. I wouldn't be able to get this very big, incredible experience if it wasn't for MTH. I remember like the Broadway Bound camp, I have never had so many people in that camp that have just been such an influence. And it really felt like I wasn't out of place because I had people there that were kind to me and loved me like a normal human being. And that's really what you get from that experience, just having those people around you and just having the support and love and kindness from everyone and just lifting each other up and all of you reaching new heights.
Here I am, here I am, and the light is dying. Where are you? Where are you? Will you answer me? All alone in the quiet of my ears are thirsty for your voice, for your voice. Can you answer me? If I try, maybe I can see your shadow in the sodium light that masquerades as moon. If I try, I might take off like a sparrow, and I'll travel along a guided breeze. Very soon, very soon, that's the sound of longing. Are you there? Are you there? Will you answer me? In my dreams, my beloved lies beside me. When the sun lights the room, I find it's only me. Only me. Only me. With the world around me. Only you. When the sun and moon and stars are gone, what's left is only you. Will you answer me? Answer me.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight to support MTH production and education initiatives. I'm Jan Durwood. I'm an education advocate, and I'm a big-time musical theater fan. A little over 6 years ago, George Harder asked me to become a part of a task force to model and fund an equally compelling education program for our area youth. We agreed it had to be relevant to kids everywhere. It had to reach a broad cross-section of our community, and particularly our underserved areas. In 2016, with great anticipation, MTH went live with a themed summer camp effort, which quickly gained national attention and rave reviews, even in year one. To date, I'm proud to say MTH has served over 2,500 kids, many attending via scholarships and grants. So, yes, MTH has made an impact. It has proven to be a game changer for kids across our community who otherwise would have had little to no performing arts outlets or even quality interactions with other friends. We hope you will join us in making this and more possible as we envision our plans for 2021. So tonight, as we mark the 5th anniversary of the Education Outreach Program, I want to say thank you. You are the reason MTH has been able to imagine and deliver unique musical experiences across our community. And so my heart is full because I know that with your support, MTH can and will impact kids across our community for years to come.
In 2002, the syndicated radio show was doing very well, but it became difficult to raise funds. 501c3 status, musical theater heritage, the appreciation and awareness of the 100-year history of the American musical, but nobody really wanted to fund a radio show that was going out of town. The local funders weren't particularly interested in something that was mostly heard outside of Kansas City. So I determined that we needed to have some kind of a more of a local presence, a local mission. About that time, I was very well acquainted with the American tenor Nathan Granter. I'm sure some of you remember him. We kind of cooked up this idea to do a night of opera favorites on the old truck loading dock at the Belger Cartage Company down at 19th and Walnut. I was on the radio at KXDR then, so Nathan lined up the singers. We borrowed a piano from the tune shop and put it up on the old loading dock. And Nathan had some of his performers come in and a pianist. And I got on the radio and said, why don't you show up at 8 o'clock on this Friday night at the Belger Cartage Company loading dock for opera favorites. Had no idea how many people would show up. Over 200 people showed up that night. Sometimes the trains would pass by and interrupt Rodolfo singing to Mimi for the opening of La Boheme. They had a pet parrot of some sort that kept squawking upstairs that would interrupt from time to time, but it was all part of the atmosphere. And people really started gravitating to our shows on the old loading dock. And in 2004, we decided to do a carousel in concert. See, our concert style kind of gravitated from doing shows live on the radio. And the concert style, we got very good at it. It was sort of concentrated theater. And as I say, it was sort of a hybrid of a radio show and a live audience event. So we started developing a very nice audience. The Belger people decided to turn that loading dock into an art space. I guess we inspired them to do that. I hope we did. So we needed to find another venue. Well, it turns out that Crown Center had sent some spies in to take a look at our shows. And they liked what they saw. And they asked us to be a part of a new 245-seat theater that they were planning on building at Crown Center in place of the movie theaters.
I remember the squawking bird upstairs at the Belger Arts Center very well, George. There's nothing quite like being in the middle of a sincere musical moment, a love scene perhaps, and being interrupted by a loud bird. That happened all the time. Those of you who saw shows with MTH at the Belger, that was like 15 years ago. You have been with us for a very long time, and we thank you very, very much for that. Again, you can text donate to the number on your screen. You can text bid now to the number on your screen. They will both hit you back with different links on how you can help support MTH. We would definitely appreciate that. Everything we do at MTH, whether it be a Musical Monday or an original review or our Christmas shows, we always like to add some tunes that you may not know, some great songs, but they aren't the most popular tunes. And tonight is no different. So we'll do a David Friedman tune. My friend Seth Golay, brilliant theater artist. God, I love watching Seth perform. He'll do David Friedman's Help Is On the Way. Before that, we're going to do a Jason Robert Brown song. Now, Jason Robert Brown, you probably know him from his Tony Award-winning scores for Parade, The Bridges of Madison County, maybe you know The Last 5 Years, 13, also did Honeymoon in Vegas with Rob McClure. We'll do a tune from Songs for a New World, his very first production. It was a compilation of tunes that he wrote for other events, other venues, kind of all packaged together. Some might call it a song cycle, but they definitely share a very similar theme. And like most of Jason Robert Brown's great songs, hard as hell to play and very difficult to sing. But we're fortunate tonight. We have the inimitable Anthony Edwards, who's been with us on piano all evening, who's going to just kill it, and really one of the most remarkable voices and most genuine, nicest human beings you'll ever meet, Ron Lackey, singing the tune. So here he is, singing King of the World from Songs for a New World. This is Ron Lackey.
Once upon a time, I had tides to control. I had moons to spin and stars to ignite. And they threw flowers at my feet when I walked through the town. Once upon a time, I had lives to protect. I had rules to change and wrongs to set right. And there were people at my side, there were rivers I could guide. I wanted nothing in return. Let me out of here, give me back to the wind. Let me out of here, let me please see the sun. Let me out of here, at least tell me what I did wrong. Now I'm a king of the world, chief of the sea, high in the wind, at least I used to be. Now I'm a king of the world, please set me free. Let me remind them of my promise, live my given destiny. Once upon a time, I had fate in my hands and the confidence of a million regimes. And they said, brother, you're in charge, we'll follow anything you say. Once upon a time, Father said to me, child, you are everything that you see in your dreams. And I thought, Jesus, that's the key. There are no walls surrounding me, there are no prisons in this life. Let me out of here, give me back to the wind. Let me out of here, let me please see my son. Let me out of here, don't you understand who I am? Now I'm a king of the world, chief of the sea, high in the wind, at least I try to be. Now I'm a king of the world, please set me free. I had the power and the promise, give me back my family. Why are we punished for wanting to explore? Why am I sitting in this cell? I was not challenging the system, I was working for the people. I just wanted to be better. Why are we punished for wanting to survive? Why am I locked behind these bars? Tell the children I'll return to them. Tell them, someone, let them know I will be free. I will not be defeated, I will stand like a mountain, and the road will stretch before me, and they'll know it's time to follow, and they'll lift their eyes and raise their heads, face the sun and tell the future I'm a king of the chief of the sea, high in the wind, the best that I could be, and I'm king of the world. Watching you'll see, nothing can stop me from tomorrow. Live my given destiny, and I'm a king of the world. And I'm a king of the world. And at least I used to be.
Hi, my name's Kenny Personette. I've worked with MTH as a performer, as a teaching artist, and as a choreographer for Cats, Oklahoma, Spectacular Christmas Show, numerous shows. And I kind of wanted to talk about, some of my experiences with MTH Theater. First off being the opportunity that was presented to me to open up my own business, Empire Dance Academy, a dance studio that we were able to partner with MTH Theater just literally right here in this venue. MTH has really provided a ton of opportunities for these artists, for all these different shows that I've choreographed in the Heights. The amount of dancers that were involved in that, and I speak to dance because that's, what I do primarily. But the other thing I'd say is MTH Theater, there's no other theater in Kansas City that's doing such big musicals with the amount of dance that's happening. The amount of dance that's going on in the Heights and in Cats that we incorporated was newfound for Kansas City. And we've now done it with numerous shows here at MTH. And it's important that we continue to do those things. Dance is, it's a form of communication, and it's so important. And I think it's so great that MTH incorporates so much of that into each and every one of their seasons.
That's about as far as she could go.
Hey, I'm Allison Jones here. So excited to be here, joining you all for the virtual gala with MTH. Even for a moment, it's lovely to be back with a piece of our community, performing and just being able to create art. Music and art and stage and lights and set pieces are what make everything we do magical, and you get to watch it and you get to be a part of that magic too. It's not just the community you see on stage and behind the scenes, it's you in the seats with us. And so to me, the arts, and specifically musical arts, is a place where I feel free, and I get to play and I get to enjoy myself, but not just by myself. I get to do it with a really cool and big team. And so being a performer here at MTH, and also being a teaching artist through the summer camps this past summer, I've really gotten an opportunity, even virtually through a screen, to play, whether it be with my own peer group, my own age, or even teenagers. They teach you so much. And that's really wraps up my experience at MTH, is every time I'm here, every time I get to be a part of MTH in some capacity, I'm always learning something. I'm learning something about our community. I'm learning something about myself as an artist. I'm learning what's possible. I'm learning what's beautiful, and it's really exciting to be back. And we thank you for joining us, and we're so excited to see you really soon. Enjoy the night.
When I moved back to Kansas City after living in New York, I honestly did not know if I would ever do theater again, if I would ever love doing theater again. And there was a span of a couple of years where I wasn't performing, and I didn't really miss it, and I kind of just thought, okay, I guess it is what it is. Until one day, I got a text message from a guy named Tim Scott asking me if I wanted to perform in the upcoming musical Monday, which at the time I had no idea what that meant and what it entailed, but I said yes, and I did it. And I remember thinking after the performances, like, okay, that was pretty fun. I had a good time. So the next year, auditions were coming up for the Spectacular Christmas Show in 2015. So I thought, it's been a minute since I've done a show, so let me just go for it and we'll just see what happens. So I auditioned, I got the show, and I always say that show completely changed my life. It was where I found my people here in Kansas City, who have all basically become family. And it was the show that reignited my passion for theater and performing. And I've been very fortunate to have many shows like that here at MTH. And so I've been thinking about what is it about theater that I love so much. And for me, it is the fact that everyone is a community that comes together and shares an experience for one night in this point in time. And it's truly a feeling unlike any other. And it's one that I think a lot of us are deeply missing this year. And it's one that I believe also that we need to have after all of this. And so a place like MTH needs this support so that it can be here and so that all of us can come together as a community again and share many more experiences in the years to come.
Don't give up the ship, even when you feel it sinking and you don't know what to do. Don't give up your dream, even though you may be thinking it never will come true. Life has its own ideas of how things come about, so if you just hang in there, life is gonna work it out. Help is on the way from places you don't know about today, from friends you may not have met yet. Believe me when I say I know help is on the way. You don't have to know where the path in life is leading. You just have to walk along, dreaming as you go, asking for the things you're needing. You never can go wrong if you have faith that things are happening as they should. Then just believe each step you take is leading you to something good. Help is on the way from places you don't know about today, from friends you may not have met yet. Believe me when I say I know help is on the way. So open your heart, open your mind. No matter how you've tried and failed, tomorrow you may turn and find that help is on the way from places you don't know about today, from friends you may not have met yet. Believe me when I say I know help is on the way. Help is on the way. Help is on the way.
As an actor, I feel like I fell into theater because I love telling stories, and as a performer, that's what we get to do. And having all of these different places where we can go and tell a story and have it mean something to someone in the audience is what keeps us wanting to do it. But also, at some point in that storytelling, you're pouring out your own story and your own heart and soul into each performance, and there's something that you can connect to with that character, and it's this very cathartic experience that you can't find anywhere else. And MTH has been a part of my theater career for quite a while, and there have been many moments in my life that have been huge, where MTH has given me a chance to tell a story, but not only the show we're doing, but my story. Whether it was after an accident, during a miscarriage, there have been so many moments in my life that theater has saved me, has given me a chance to express some of my deepest feelings that I didn't even know. And it is such a instrumental outlet for people. And here we are again in the middle of a pandemic, and this theater is still coming forward and giving artists an outlet to express themselves, to share their gifts and their talents with people who want to be a part of that experience. So thank you for supporting this theater. Thank you for supporting these artists, and we are honored to have this job. I hope that tonight you are able to connect to our stories.
So it was in 2008, actually, that they completed what they call the Off-Center Theater at Crown Center, and it was open to all comers. Our first show that we produced here in Crown Center at the Off-Center Theater was a review that I wrote called Bernstein's Broadway. It ran for one weekend. Then after a few years, that was 2008, and several years went by, a partnership with Crown Center that worked out wonderful. But they approached us one day and said, you know, a lot of the theater companies aren't renting this space because they're getting confused with your company. They don't feel like they're getting the branding that they should be getting by being here. So they started dropping off. And the Crown Center officials said, are you all, MTH, going to continue to use the space? I said, yes, actually, we want to use it more. And they said, we're going to take your offer. You take the whole thing. You do the box office. You get your liquor license. You handle the bar. You buy the paper towels and the toilet paper. You clean the restrooms. You take care of the whole thing, and you can do whatever you like in there. And that's when we moved to Crown Center full-time, lock, stock, and barrel. That was in 2014. And we renamed the Off-Center Theater the MTH Theater at Crown Center.
Where we are is up on the roof of the Westin Hotel overlooking our beautiful city here, the Kansas City skyline outside Crown Center, about, I don't know, maybe 500 feet from the door that leads backstage to MTH where George is chilling. We hope you guys are having a great time tonight. We hope you're enjoying the online auction, you're bidding. You've been moved by something you may have seen already, and that has moved you to text donate to the number on your screen and support MTH. We have a lot of great stuff still coming up today. Earlier you heard from MTH board member Jan Durwood, also MTH virtual education coordinator Jesslyn Kincaid, talk about our education program. And the education program at MTH speaks very specifically to me because I have a 14-year-old daughter who's taking camps, and I've seen arts education be attacked in public schools for years. And for a father who has a creative kid that likes to jump up and down and likes to be loud and likes to be weird and different, these programs are vital more now than ever. So we want to be able to provide those opportunities to anyone who wants them. So if you text education to the number on your screen right now, that'll hit you back with a link where you can donate specifically to the education program and underwrite students who may not otherwise be able to afford it. And for every person that we get to underwrite a student today, that's another opportunity for a kid in Kansas City who may really need it. So we hope you'll consider joining us in that initiative as well. We're gonna sing some more songs. That's what we do, man. We do musical theater. So up next, we're gonna have Francisco Javier Villegas. I've known him for way too long as Pancho. So you might remember Pancho from his, gosh, it was an electrifying performance as Usnavi de la Vega in our 2019 production of In the Heights. Pancho is gonna do a tune from Stephen Schwartz's Pippin. Pippin, Broadway, 1972, won a lot of Tony Awards, 2 specifically for Bob Fosse, one for directing, the other for choreography. Pancho will do Corner of the Sky from Pippin in just a second. But before that, I'm really excited that we have another out-of-town guest, shall we say. My friend Emily Shackelford is here with us tonight, and she's going to do a tune from Natasha, Pierre, and the Great Comet of 1812. Long title, great show. Written music and lyrics by Dave Malloy. It's adapted from a 70-page section from Leo Tolstoy's War and Peace. Now, War and Peace is a 1,200-page book, so do the math. There's like 15 more musicals in there somewhere, but we'll leave that for another night. So here she is, direct from her apartment in New York City. This is Emily Shackelford singing No One Else from Natasha, Pierre, and the Great Comet of 1812.
The moon, first time I heard your voice, moonlight burst into the room, and I saw your eyes, and I saw your smile, and the world opened wide, and the world was inside of me, and I catch my breath, and I laugh and blush, and I hear guitars. You are so good for me. I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, I the snow in the moonlight, and your childlike eyes, and your distant smile. I'll never be this happy again. You and I, and no one else. We've done this all before. We were angels once. Don't you remember? Joy and life inside our souls, and nobody knows, just you and me. It's our secret. This winter sky. How can anyone sleep? There was never such a night before. I feel like putting my arms around my knees and squeezing tight as possible. And the snow in the moonlight, and your childlike eyes, and your distant smile. I'll never be this happy again. You are not. You are not. You are not. Maybe he'll come tonight. Maybe he came already, and he's sitting in the drawing room, and I simply forgot.
Hello, everybody. My name is Chad Gert, and I am the CEO of MTH Theater. Now, I joined George back in 2003, and over the next 18 years, we have been blessed to have been able to add key players to our team and turn MTH into one of the largest arts organizations in the region. Last year, over 57,000 visitors came through our doors. Over 1,000 events and performances took place in our venues. 350 performers, musicians, designers, and artists and crew brought our musical productions to life. And over 1,000 kids were able to participate in our education outreach programs. Well, that was last year. This year, however, we've been faced with having to reinvent ourselves and find new ways to reach our audience and to serve our community. And we are doing that. This year, we're on track to serve over 20,000 people. Our musical theater summer camps this year, led by Jesselyn Kincaid and our education task force, has gone virtual. And through partnerships with CASA and Operation Breakthrough and the Live Like Luke Foundation, we've been able to serve over 150 kids from 15 different states during the height of the pandemic. And what about our musical productions that MTH is known for? Well, our executive artistic director, Tim Scott, has done an absolutely masterful job of reimagining our season this year. And he and Mark Exline and John Robertson have beautifully crafted online productions that people can consume right from their living rooms, right in their homes, or maybe even at their desks while at work. Guilty. Well, over 5,000 people from around the world have been able to enjoy these programs this way. And for many people, this is their only way to enjoy musical theater until things get back to normal. And on that note, Musical Theater Heritage has been leading the way in finding ways to get back and safely get back to normal. Through partnerships with Crown Center and Theater League and CBD American Shaman and Quixotic and the Westin Crown Center Hotel, MTH this summer has been safely co-producing events outside and social distancing on the roof behind MTH. None of this would have been possible without you. Your support has given us the ability to reach our community during these tough times. And for that, we are deeply and profoundly grateful for you. And we look forward to the next 18 years together.
So, my history with MTH means that I have had the privilege to get to play some of the best roles written in musical theater, and some of those roles not written for somebody like me, being a woman and getting to play a lot of male roles or that were traditionally played by men. All the way from Edward Rutledge up to one of my all-time favorite roles with Dot in Sunday in the Park with George. So as a person who's gotten to perform up on this stage, I also love to recall and think about some of the performances and some of the shows I've seen on the MTH stage. The first one I ever saw was How to Succeed in Business, and I remember seeing Lauren Brayton in that musical. I will just never forget, and that has carried on from productions all the way back then up to amazing turns by an entire cast in Next to Normal, and then more recently in Ragtime with how beautiful the sound, the lights, the performances, and just being captivated by Allison Jones. I've seen some amazing performances here at Musical Theater Heritage. Musical Theater Heritage is important to me because it has, since I first moved here, in many ways, shapes, and forms, helped feed my creative soul. But also getting to sing songs at Musical Monday and Tuesday that I just want to sing or showcase, being involved with teaching their camps, which is the kind of brings me the kind of happiness that you just can't describe outside of knowing what it means to teach. And Musical Theater Heritage has continued to support artists, especially during a time, and support me during a time when I've needed creativity in my life the most. I remember, I think about June, talking with somebody about how we just felt like all creativity and desire had been kind of sucked from our artistic souls, which is a little bit dramatic, yes, but
when I get to come and sing with the band, even if it isn't in front of, you know, as many audience members as it has been before, or teach with kids, even though it is online, it keeps me sane, happy, and feeling whole.
Everything has its season, everything has its time. Show me a reason and I'll soon show you a rhyme. Cats fit on the windowsill, children fit in the snow. Why do I feel I don't fit in anywhere I go? Rivers belong where they can ramble. Eagles belong where they can fly. I've got to be where my spirit can run free. Gotta find my corner of the sky. Every man has his daydreams, every man has his goal. People like the way dreams have of sticking to the soul. Thunderclouds have their lightning, nightingales have their song. And don't you see, I want my life to be something more than long. Rivers belong where they can ramble. Eagles belong where they can fly. I've got to be where my spirit can run free. Gotta find my corner of the sky. So many men seem destined to settle for something small, but I won't rest until I know I'll have it all. So don't ask where I'm going, just listen when I'm gone. And far away you'll hear me singing softly to the dawn. Rivers belong where they can ramble. Eagles belong where they can fly. I've got to be where my spirit can run free. Gotta find my corner of the sky.
Well, to me, when I think about theater, the importance of it in my life just cannot be overstated. I can remember the first time I had the privilege of seeing any musical was actually on a trip I was on, and got to see a Broadway production of Les Miserables in 1998. And it blew my mind. Like, I did not know that the combination of music and drama was so powerful, and I was like hooked from the beginning. But I still at that time didn't know that I could actually be a part of it. And when opportunities began to come my way, I just felt like, absolutely sign me up. If I can sing and perform and be a part of telling these stories, that's just the impact theater has had on my life. And when I first moved to Kansas City, I was looking for opportunities to plug back into theater and to get involved. But honestly, it seemed quite daunting because it was a bigger city than where I'd come from. But at MTH, I had some opportunities. I was given an opportunity to join my first theater production here in Kansas City. And that challenge was amazing. And since then, MTH was my first show here in Kansas City. And since then, I've done probably half a dozen shows here at MTH and several musical Mondays
here, and I really just consider it like a home away from home when it comes to theater. I love performing here. I love the people. My experiences here at MTH have been nothing short of exceptional. And I just, big shout out to the people who work here that I've had an opportunity to work with, the friends that I've created, that I've connected with, friendships and things like that have just been off the chart. I have friends from my experiences here at MTH that are gonna be my friends for life. And just can't say enough about how it's impacted and changed my life here in Kansas City as a theater performer.
I want to specifically thank everyone out there for tuning in, for watching. Without your support, we wouldn't be here. It's your support that has allowed us that even over the last 3-4 months, in the middle of the pandemic, we've been able to employ over 60 artists, musicians, and crew members for our virtual shows. We've been able to give our opportunities, employment and artistic, to more than a dozen teaching artists to teach our virtual camps, and we couldn't have done it without you. We are your local theater, local artists almost exclusively, so thank you for continuing to let us to do that. And if you've been moved but by anything you've seen tonight, whether it be something someone has said or something someone has sung or something you've seen, I implore you, please, to donate to the number on your screen. Help support MTH right now to continue pushing the envelope and find innovative ways to continue serving the Kansas City community and continue to provide opportunities to artists in Kansas City whom you know and you love, and we've been doing it for almost 20 years here at MTH. Our last two performers are two of the nicest, most talented, most authentic people you are likely to meet in your lifetime. We'll end the show, the set. The last song will be Lauren Brayton doing a tune from Flora the Red Menace. Flora the Red Menace, John Kander and Fred Ebb's very first musical in 1965. It ignited their 45-year partnership. It was also the Broadway debut of one Liza Minnelli. Now, I've known Lauren for a long time. She's one of my closest and dearest friends on this earth, and if you don't know her, there are not enough superlatives to describe her talent. If you do know her, you know. If you don't, you're about to find out. She will do Sing Happy from Flora the Red Menace. But first, the remarkable Allison Jones is here with us tonight. You might remember Allison from our 2018 production of My Fair Lady. More recently, just about this time last year, she was in our production of Ragtime. And when I asked Allison about performing with us tonight, she said, I'd love to, but I really want to choose something to challenge myself. And I can't tell you how much I respect that, because as artists, what we want is to be creatively challenged. We want to stretch creatively and to be able to impact people and tell stories in a relatable way that people on the other side of the camera or the stage or wherever are impacted, and they can see ourselves in their performances, and hopefully it makes their day better or maybe even changes their lives in the best case scenario. So everything I've seen Allison do in the past few years, she continues to challenge herself, she continues to amaze, and she continues to inspire me. So she chose a tune from A Little Night Music from Stephen Sondheim. She chose it, not me. Can I just take this opportunity again to say how remarkable Anthony Edwards is, because all of the tunes tonight have been some of the most challenging musical arrangements in all of musical theater. And Anthony is the king. So again, Anthony, thank you so much for doing this and all of the crazy stuff that you and I have done over the years. Also should take this opportunity to thank John Robertson, who has done our sound, our audio for all of our virtual productions. He's done sound design for lots of our shows too. He is amazing, and he is one of the reasons why this is working for us. Again, like to thank our production manager, our production designer, Mark Exline, for making everything we do look so beautiful, for stretching himself creatively, regardless of the medium, regardless of the format, and making what we do look so beautiful. Like to thank Carly Lee, Pat Meads, who put the online auction together. Anybody that called tonight, you spoke to Carly. So I'm sure you're feeling better. We all feel better after we talk to Carly. She'll be available till 10 o'clock tonight. If you just want reassurance about life, give her a call. I'm sure she'll be happy to take that call. Lacey Willis has helped us out tonight as well. Tremendous, Lacey. Thank you for being here. Thank you, George. Thank you, George Harder, for your vision, your leadership, for the legacy you have left Kansas City in musical theater heritage for hopefully generations to come. And most importantly, you. Thank all of you for continuing to support MTH, for continuing to give us this opportunity to serve you and provide opportunities to Kansas City. So Here she is, without further ado. This is Allison Jones doing The Glamorous Life from A Little Night Music.
Ordinary mothers live ordinary lives. Keep the house and sweep the parlor, mend the clothes and tend the children. Ordinary mothers, like ordinary wives, make the beds and bake the pies and wither on the vine. Not mine. Dying by inches every night, what a glamorous life. Brought on by winches to recite, what a glamorous life. Ordinary mothers never get the flowers, and ordinary mothers never get the joys. Ordinary mothers couldn't cough for hours maintaining their poise. Sandwiches only, but she eats what she wants when she wants. Sometimes it's lonely, but she meets many handsome gallants. Ordinary mothers don't live out of cases, but ordinary mothers don't go different places, which ordinary mothers can do. Being mothers all day, minds away in a play, and she's realer than they. What if a brooch is only glass and her costumes unravel? What if her coach is second class? She at least gets to travel. And sometime this summer, meaning soon, she'll be traveling to me. Sometime this summer, maybe June, I'm the new place she'll see. Ordinary daughters may think life is better with ordinary mothers near them when they choose, but ordinary daughters seldom get a letter in closing review. Gay and resilient, with applause, what a glamorous life. Speeches are brilliant, if they're Shaw's, what a glamorous life. Ordinary mothers needn't meet committees, but ordinary mothers don't get keys to cities. No, ordinary mothers merely see their children all year, which is lovely, I hear, but it does interfere with the glamorous. I am the princess guarded by dragons, snorting and grumbling and rumbling in wagons. She's in her kingdom wearing disguises, living a life that is full of surprises. And sometime this summer, she'll come galloping over the green. Sometime this summer, to the rescue, my mother, the queen. Ordinary mothers thrive on being private, and ordinary mothers somehow can survive it, but ordinary mothers never know they're just standing still with their kettles to fill, while they're missing the thrill of the glamorous
I started at MTH in the summer of 2017. I've done at least 3 summer camps every summer since then, including Charlie and the Chocolate Camp, Hamilton, and Behind the Scenes. I wanted to be a stage manager last summer, and still do, and Lacey allowed me to come shadow her stage managing on In the Heights. You see what's behind of every stage and every show. It's kind of mesmerizing. Everything that's so cool and beautiful on stage, and then it's almost like chaos backstage. Everyone running around, trying to get to their places. Then they go on stage and it's like, wow. It's almost like they've been never there. Theater is important to me because it's made such a difference in my life. I've become more outgoing and I've tried a lot more new things than I used to. It's been overall probably the best thing I've ever done in my life.
Hi there, my name is Lauren Brayton. I'm an actress and vocalist and educator based out of Kansas City, and I have a little story for you. When I was about 10 years old, I was playing in my parents' basement out in Greenwood, Missouri, and I discovered this old multi-band radio. And, you know, it was an awkward time in my life around 10 years old. I was bullied a little bit in school. I was different. I definitely marched to my own drum. I was shy, a recluse, and I just hadn't figured things out yet. So this radio was a way for me to escape. And I found this amazing station on the FM dial, 96.5 KXTR. And that evening, there was a man on the radio, his name was George Harder, and he was hosting a show called A Night on the Town. This became a weekly tradition, listening to George Harder's show. And if I ever missed an episode, if there was ever any chance of missing an episode, I would pop in a cassette tape and I would record George Harder's shows on these little cassette tapes, that little tape player. You can see here it says Broadway, KXTR, A Night on the Town with George Harder. I have an embarrassing amount of these tapes. These are just a few. But I would pop them in and listen to them whenever, wherever. You know, his shows transformed me, as I said, as a person. I went from this shy little girl to being somebody who had passion for the arts. I started to become interested in music and theater. And I remember talking to my mom and dad and saying, I think I want to take voice lessons. And I discovered that I had a singing voice. It changed me. It was a huge impact on my life, and I gained confidence. So fast forward to when I was 24, 25 years old, I was able to get out and sing at 40 Sardines. And I sang these two arias, and I remember I was singing Chacun le sait from Filet du Régiment, and I looked out in the center of the restaurant, and there was George Harder staring at me, beaming. I'm gonna cry. Listening to me sing. And it was surreal, you know, because this guy changed my life. So, you know, because of musical theater heritage and George and everybody here, you know, what they're doing is so important, because from their theater productions to their educational programs to community outreach, they are creating transformative experiences for people. And that's magical. Magical. And we're so lucky to have them here in Kansas City. So I just want to say again how thankful, grateful I am for musical theater heritage. And I want to thank you for supporting MTH.
Sing me a happy song about robins in spring. Sing me a happy song with a happy ending. Some cheerful roundelay about catching the ring. Sing happy. Sing me a sonnet all about rolling in gold. Some peppy melody about rainbows blending. Nothing with phrases saying out in the cold. Sing happy. Tell me tomorrow's gonna be peaches and cream. Assure me clouds are lined with a silver lining. Say how you realize an impossible dream. Sing me a happy song. Play me a madrigal about trips to the moon, or some old ballad all about two eyes shining. It can't be loud enough for a moment too soon. Sing happy. No need reminding me how it all fell apart. I need no lyrics singing of stormy weather. I've quite enough around me that's breaking my heart. Sing happy. Give me a hallelujah and get up and shout. Tell me the sun is shining around the corner. Whoever's interested in helping me out, please keep it happy. I'm only in the market for long, loud laughter. I'll let you serenade me till dawn comes along. Just make it a happy, keep it a happy
I was asked recently to reflect on why I dedicated part of my life to the show business. It's a difficult business, and as I say, I didn't plan to get into the show business and have a live theater company, but I'm very, very thankful that I did. It's been a very rewarding career move for me. I've enjoyed getting to know many of the performers, the local performers here in Kansas City, getting to know them and being in shows with them as a narrator, watching them go off and do shows for other theater companies and then come back almost like old home week. I've enjoyed the collaborations, mostly. I've enjoyed writing the reviews, Bernstein's Broadway, the Cole Porter review, the review of Lerner and Loewe, the Christmas shows for the first 3 or 4 years, Songs of the Great War. And watching those efforts of mine personally, putting things down on a page to be said and to be done, and then watching them come to life through the work of our talented directors, that's been very enjoyable. I guess I feel most proud of the team that has been put together here at the MTH Theater, a team that is willing to not only do their jobs, but to step up and help someone else do theirs. That's very rare in a company such as this. I've enjoyed being part of that team, but I want to tell you something, folks. The most gratifying thing of all of having this production company and seeing the performers come in the door and do shows and go out the door is, I can't tell you how many times a 20-something, a 30-something singer, performer will come in to start rehearsals and they'll come up to me and they'll say, I listened to A Night on the Town on the radio when I was a little kid. And it's how I got interested in musical theater. Thank you for staying with us. Thank you for being a supporter of MTH Theater at Crown Center. Good night for now.